In the US, a police manhunt is continuing after Democratic State Representative and her husband were shot dead at their home in Minnesota. The gunman, who was posing as a police officer, also shot and injured a Minnesota senator and his wife at their home in what authorities have described as politically motivated attacks.
These targeted shootings happened in the middle of the night in two neighbouring cities near Minneapolis, according to US officials. Emergency services received a call at 2 a.m. Democratic State Senator John Hoffman and his wife had both been shot in their home. Around 90 minutes later, another call came through. This time, Democratic state politician Melissa Hortman and her husband had been shot dead in their home. The state's governor called it an unspeakable tragedy and said he had lost a great friend.
Minnesota's thoughts and prayers are with her family, her loved ones, her children, and her parents. My prayers also go out to State Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette, who were each shot multiple times. The Hoffmans are out of surgery at this time and receiving care, and we are cautiously optimistic they will survive this assassination attempt. This was an act of targeted political violence.
This is a dark day today for Minnesota and for democracy, but we will not allow fear or violence to define who we are or how we move forward.
It is believed the gunman impersonated a police officer.
It was not a real police officer. This is somebody that clearly had been impersonating a police officer, again, using the trust of this badge and this uniform to manipulate their way into the home.
Police said they found a list of dozens of possible targets in the suspect's car. Thousands are now sheltering in place as a manhunt is underway, involving hundreds of officers and SWAT teams. Donald Trump said this horrific violence will not be tolerated. Jackie Fox, RT News.
Well, let's have a word now with our Washington correspondent, Sean Whelan. And Sean, in the midst of the shock and condemnation of these attacks, there is a major search underway for that suspect, as we heard in Jackie Fox's report there.
Yeah, there is. He's been named by police sources there as Vance Bolter, a 57-year-old employee of a security company, apparently tasks mobile patrols in the Minnesota area. He had been trained to some extent by some people in the US military. Apparently, it doesn't mean he served in the military. Nevertheless, he is obviously armed and dangerous. And the shock, as you say, I mean, we can imagine this happening in Ireland if a TD and her husband were murdered in their own home, and then that same night, two senators shot in an apparent assassination attempt as well, and a list of about 70 other parliamentarians found in the suspect's car. This is a really traumatic event, not just in Minnesota, but also throughout the entire nation. Up in Minnesota, they have cancelled a number of protest marches that were due to take place today in this National No Kings Day that has been called a protest against Donald Trump policies, particularly the roundup of migrants down in California, but also the military parade, which is taking place here in Washington, D.C. in a couple of hours' time.